like to welcome y'all to another edition of the Major Music Lounge podcast, joined by the homie Rocket, who's going to be talking to us today about nosongrequest.com and what that is. Without much further ado, Rocket, what's good, my brother?
Hey, I'm here, man. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I, just appreciate it. Really grateful for this opportunity, my man.
Oh man, no problem, man. I appreciate you reaching out, man. Especially like a lot of times I post for, new guests on the podcast. Sometimes, they'll come in droves. Sometimes it's a little bit it's a little bit slow. So, right now it's kind of starting to pick up. I guess a lot of people have projects and things like that they want to chop it up about. But nonetheless, glad to have you on. And we're gonna get into talking about nosongrequest.com. But before then, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what's your role? Are you a producer, DJ, artist?
Right. I'm your biggest fan. That's what it. That's what I'll keep it at that simple. So I was a DJ. Actually, I had a radio show in Cleveland way back in the day. I know it's gonna sound cliche, but Bone, before they blew up, they used to be on my show. Matter of fact, they've knocked on the door at the radio station, and the producers have looked out and like, is Bone again? I'm like, you got to let them in. This is before they actually blew up. They came on my show like 2-3 weeks, and then they disappeared. And I was like, what happened to them? And then a month later, I'm hearing the album, man. So that's how far back. So I started off in music. I mean, I've always been in music, just involved, but never been a producer. Just been, had a radio show, and I'm just a guy who just wanted. I mean, I know all the DJs. I'm hanging out with them. I'm just their biggest fan. I'm just gonna keep it honest with you.
Man, that's awesome. That like just talking about Bone, that's kind of like a lot of my middle school and teenage years there. And I actually had a homeboy out here in Dallas who went on tour with Bone. Like this was probably about 10 years ago or so. And just I would love to come across them, whether it's kind of like yourself, just being a fan, or even if it's one song that I produce for, whether it's the group themselves or even just one of the members. That would kind of be like a bucket list item for me personally, man, because they meant a lot to the culture. So it's kind of cool that you actually got to interact with them almost at the start of their career.
Right at the start. Right at the start. All of them weren't even rapping like that yet. They were all kind of it was kind of like it was forming, Wow. Yeah.
You know what I think, man? Side note, I don't know if you ever checked out the show on Hulu about Wu-Tang, and I wish they would make something like that, but for Bone. Because I always wanted to know kind of what that beginning story was, and really, how their career went once they kind of went their separate ways. And I think that would be cool for somebody put together. Hulu, Netflix, whoever you are out there, y'all need to get that together.
well, the Wu-Tang story was missing one little ingredient. I watched it, but I interviewed Wu-Tang, and this is my Wu-Tang story. Okay. So I'm in the radio station. This is my biggest interview, right? I'm just a teenager from Cleveland. I'm just getting to meet all of these people because I just talked my way to get on the radio. And they get in. I actually turn all the lights off. You can just see the lights on the it's just like I'm got it all set up. We're doing the interview. Methods is doing most of the talking. And I got this one question that I'm ready to pop just because I think it's funny and it's just gonna do it. It's a lot of them, right? So Wu-Tang has a lot of members. So I said, hey Wu, so I mean, it's a lot of y'all. Did did you guys start off like as a dance group or something like that? And it was silent. They didn't beat me up though. They just said, nah, man. Because back in the day when you saw a lot of people together, it was like a dance group. So yeah. But I just thought it was funny, but they didn't think it was funny, but they didn't snap. It was cool.
Yeah, it was all good. Yeah, at least they didn't snap though. But you're right. Around that time, you had those R&B groups that dance like New Edition dance.
Yeah. So Yeah, that was my Wu-Tang story right there.
Okay, man, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool, man. Them too. Been a big fan of them
Mhm.
since the first album, and just to kind of see where they are now. Like, I know Meth does a lot of things in the health and fitness space. I just saw
Mhm.
RZA last week on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Boynes and
Mhm.
Steven Jackson. So, I know a lot of them are still active, still doing their
Oh
thing,
yeah.
even like in music and publishing and releasing music as well. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I run into, being in LA, every once in a while you run into people, not as much as people think, but I ran into RZA at like some just a random club one night. I was like, I wanted to tell him the story, but it never even got to that. I just, I saw him and we were just standing there, and I'm there with my wife, and he immediately just like paid attention to her and just ignored me, bro. I was like, yo, that's my wife. Yeah. I met RZA once at the club. That was it.
That's
In
awesome,
LA.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite producers, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man. So nosongrequest.com. Uh
Yeah.
I kind of looked over the site, and it's kind of interesting. Definitely
Yeah.
interesting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the idea, so starting off in music, but I never really, my goal, once I got into college, I got into software. I started building software. Right now, I'm the chief technology officer of an insurance software company owned by a private equity fund. I am deep in the software. I've been managing software teams. I've been a software developer for over 20 years. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. But I love music. Like I said, I'm the biggest fan. Like you see, I'm that guy in the club acting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just who I am. I mean, I'm just that guy. My best friend was he was a big DJ in Cleveland and Columbus. I'm like, yo, can I bring your records? I'm not. That's just who I am. So uh, moving to LA like around 2004, 2005, I just start. I was in the club scene. And this is with me and my girl. We go out. There's not a weekend where we're not out. We are out and we're touching everything. We're all around. And so always my brother's, he's a musician, so I've been in the studio. I paid for studio time. Just always been a part of the music scene, but just the guy who wants to hear a song, who loves that song, who knows where the artist is from, all of that. And it's just slowly kind of morphed where I used to just be in the club like, man, I wish I could hear my song. I don't want to bother the DJs because I respect them, because I know them. I know that they're playing, this is their craft and this is what they do. So I have a respect for that. But of course, I want to hear the song. I'm like, man, this song would be fire right now. Um, and so over time, it just kind of slowly, I thought of a few different things, and then I started doing, this is actually around 2 or 3 years ago, I started kind of thinking about it more seriously. And then I thought, if I built something like this, would it work? But then the idea is everyone's like, let's build an app. The thing is that I thought about it. If I build an app and I say, hey, download this app in the club, and nobody's gonna do that. Everybody's drunk. They're not gonna download, sign up, accept these rights and all this stuff. So over time, I realized that this has to be simple. Nowadays when you go to a store you go to a restaurant, you see a QR code, you scan it, you just immediately you get the menu. You don't have to sign up, you don't have to download the app, you don't do all of that, right? And so I thought, okay, this is the way that I can at least, if I want people to use it, it's got to be instant. They don't even have to put their name in. You start telling people they got to put their email, they just turn off. So I thought, if I can build something that's super simple for DJ, literally just put in four things, just to create an account. And for the user, it's just a QR code and you put in your song. And if you want to say, give a shout out, that's fine. And then the biggest part, you can tip the DJ. You know what I'm saying? That's really the idea, kind of morphed because really I just wanted to hear my song. So to put it to the, to kind of simplify it, it was like, really, I'm a software guy, and I thought if I can build something so I can get my song played, that's the whole point of this no song request. And the idea behind the name is because really DJs really, they don't really like song requests. but they kind of do need to hear what people want to hear. So it's kind of, that's why the whole no song request. So it's really, you're not going up to the DJ and talking in his ear trying to get a song request. You're doing it another way. You're not really, going up and asking for a song request. You're using technology to get the information to the DJ.
Sure. Now on the DJs end, like they, so I guess like they get their notification and then they have the
Instantly.
list. Okay, I got you.
And not only that, they get them. So as soon as somebody put in the name, boom, the DJ gets notified instantly. But also the DJ can see in the app the top request, so everybody can upvote the requests.
Okay.
So if you see, so if the DJ sees like, look, 40 people say they want to hear this song, you might want to think about playing that song. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah.
So that's the whole idea. It's like that social piece of it too. So it's not just you get a bunch of song requests, you also getting the comments and you getting the number of people that like it. So you can see, okay, a lot of people might want to hear this song, or somebody say it's my birthday, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because opposed to even going through like radio, for example, that's another form of, because like for radio, a lot of people, a lot of listeners may call in and say, hey, we want to listen to this song on the radio station. And they kind of gauge the popularity of a song that way. This can also, how DJs break records, for example. This can be another way they can see, which track is hot. It's an independent artist, because most of these artists in the clubs now are independent. And they might still have their songs on all these streaming platforms. So like when I go perform, for example, I just send my link sometimes to a DJ, or even just a hard file. But getting them to see what's hot, and you never know what record they can break as well along the way. So DJs can also sign up directly through the site.
They sign up directly, they get a profile, they upload their picture, you know what I'm saying? They can put messages and all that stuff, and then they get a QR code immediately. They can share that. Some of them print it out. Some of them have it on an iPad. Some of them they have business cards passing around. We're getting a lot of response, and it's all the feedback we're getting from the DJs. We're just quickly making changes and just getting it right for them.
Yeah,
it's not. And the goal, you talk about breaking songs and stuff like that. There's today in it being useful for the DJ, but we have a longer term plan where we think this can actually really have a bigger impact. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you're ready, we can talk about all of that too.
Yeah, you can get into it now.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like you said, you get to know what people want to hear. This DJ, right? And okay, wow, I didn't even know that people wanted to hear this song. Now, if you think about it, you've got all these streaming services out here. You got Spotify, you've got Google Music, Tidal, all of these platforms. They all try to feed you information on what they think, based on what you're listening to. These are the songs they think you like. And you can go and like them and put them in your playlist, and that's great. But I think a service like No Song Request is the only service can tell you what people love. And the reason is because I'm in the club, I'm drunk, I'm in it's my wedding, it's my anniversary, whatever that event is, I want to hear this one song. I'm going to type that song in. You know what I'm saying? How much is that information worth to like a Spotify, to like a Tidal, to understand this information? There's all millions of songs, and you've got, this is what people want to hear this weekend in the world. You know what I'm saying? We got people in other countries also signing up for it too. So to me, I feel like there's a lot of information that's good for the DJs, but it's also good for the music industry as well. And also what we're working on is that, DJs, when they get all these requests, they can download them and they can, put it in their Beatport or Tidal or whatever. We're allowing them to download all of these requests so they don't have to, search it and download it and all that stuff. But that's for their requests. We're also going to be able to give them all of the requests so they can see what's hot in hip hop, what's hot in Afro beats, what's hot in whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or so they'll be able to just, I'm doing an event for like maybe a genre that I'm not really that familiar with. I can go here and see what people are requesting right now, not just what maybe Spotify thinks I should be playing, but this is what people are asking for right now. So I feel like there's, I feel like this could be a good addition to a bigger song service. And so that's really kind of my play long term, is to really, I think that this could be something that's really beneficial overall in music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Cause like I personally I use mostly Apple Music, and
Mm-hmm.
then I on the other side of that, I use a little bit of Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do notice though, more of, and I don't know if it's the algorithm or if
Mm-hmm.
it's tracking what I search or the albums that I add, or how that works. But I noticed that a little bit more often than not. Um, Apple Music is kind of like a lot more accurate towards my taste opposed to like Spotify and the way that
Mm-hmm.
algorithm works. And I think
Mm-hmm.
like with the information that you're going to have for that website, you're
Mm-hmm.
right, it could help these other companies kind of understand a lot of the trends, not only
Mm-hmm.
from a, I guess, a bigger perspective, but also down to regions. So like what's popular in the South, what's popular on the West Coast, what's popular in
Mm-hmm.
New York, what's
Mm-hmm.
popular overseas. And
Mm-hmm.
that marketing can also, from an artist perspective and a producer's perspective, allow them to grow their fan bases even better as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The reason as far as the algorithm, because again, I'm a software, guy, a lot of it has to do how often you use the service. And some of them are better, right? And some of them are better at certain genres of music. Like some of them have this figured out. Like I use a lot of them just to test them out. And I realized that Tidal is good with, like, I feel like it's better with hip hop. And that kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in some instances, I feel like other music services might be better at other, genres. So I think that, but it also is how much you use it,
Yeah.
what you're liking. And like I've seen it where, like I've been testing out this app a lot. I like have events at my house, and like I have different friends and stuff, and they'll come around. They listen to different types of music, and I realize that when I play those music, like the next week, I'm getting recommendations from those, and I'm like, really, I'm not listening to that music, but it thinks I am because I was playing it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that, it is what you're doing, and it's just evaluating it and trying to make a decision. And what I'm saying is that no song request, it doesn't need to evaluate it. It knows what's hot, because it's not about, it's people are telling me this is
Yeah,
what I
they're
want to
putting
hear.
it in there.
Yeah. So to me, the other ones can tell you what they like. I feel like we can tell you what they love. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's to me a real strong play, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, depending on direction your company goes, years from now, I mean, who knows? You could possibly start to work with these artists even closer to build
Hmm.
something even bigger off of that, using that data. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah, it's a
Yeah, but
great.
for me, it's not even, like I said, I'm the biggest fan, producers, DJs. The idea is not to build a service that I can nickel and dime DJs. I'm not charging $9.95 a month. That's not my goal. That's not our goal. Our goal is to provide a service for them. I mean, there are other ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal here, is to really, if you provide a good service, everything will figure itself out. I'm not, with the DJs right now, we're not even taking a cut off the tips they're getting through the song service. I mean, it's all, when you're building software, you want to get it to market, you want to iterate, you want to just keep making changes and just keep, delighting the customer. You know what I'm saying? So we're not like, just, okay, up front, let's figure out how we're going to monetize this and make a bunch of money. Let's get people happy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's make them satisfied with it and worry about that later, because that's really the whole point. If they're
yeah,
happy with it, then they'll use it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you got the website, and you have apps on iOS as well as Android.
So no, so the way it works, and again, that's the whole thing. It's a web-based app. When you scan
Okay.
it, it launches it in your browser, because when you're in the club, we don't want, people are not going to want to download. Now, we are going to build an app for the DJ side right
Yeah,
away,
yeah,
because that will give the DJs more functionality. Like they can get the real-time alerts, on, what I'm saying, iPhone, just real-time alerts. But right now, it's all you scan it, it pulls up on your your Safari browser, so you don't have to install anything. As a user, you just type in, you submit it. The request is sent. The DJ, they get a text message, right, instantly, right, because they sign up, they enter their phone, so they get a text message right away, and they can just go on and it gives them in the link, yo, this is how you get to your site. They click on it, they can see all the requests, they can mark it as played, they can respond to each request and say, yo, this is fire, I'm about to play this. They can market it that they've played it, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So it's right now, it's intentionally where you don't have to download and install it on any of the Play stores, because that's like a barrier, you know, especially when you're just at the club and you see this QR code.
I'm with you.
You scan it, you just want to get them going.
Yeah, I'm with you. Makes sense to be more efficient, because when you know, like you said earlier, when you're in the club, most people drinking, you know, and they just wanna groove, you know.
They just want to groove. They oh, you mean I can get my song? Boom, you know. And if maybe they're drinking a lot, they might be like, okay, let me tip this DJ some money, you know. To me, that's, if I can put some money in if we can put money in the DJ's pocket, all of them will use it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you something about the DJs. For me, like, I've got like some DJs, you know, like there are a lot of DJs in LA that I'm just big fans of, and I have never approached them because they are playing incredible sets. And who am I to say, yo, man, hey, these people want to, you need to, you know, play these people's songs. Now, I feel like every DJ, no matter how big you are, there will be a time where, let's say you're doing a special event and it's not your, you know, thing where you're curating this and you're trying to introduce music to the fans. You just want to be able to, there are times where you need to know what people want to hear because it's a special event. So even the DJs who I'm like, I don't want to approach them because they're like, I'm not listening. I play what I want to play. I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? Even for them, I feel like they still can use the service. Everyone can use the service because there is a situation where you just want to hear from your fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know, a lot easier for them to help manage those lists as well, instead of having
exactly
because
and they can always not play it.
I remember back in the day when they used to write down, you know, everything on and then even the days where, you know, it got a little tricky, because I know back in the day when you used to run up to the booth maybe with a CD, and DJ would want to charge a certain amount just to play that one song off of that CD. Now, you know, they might be getting more tips, so they might be more inclined to want to play, you know, certain songs.
Right, because now it's easy, just Cash App, you know what I'm saying? It's easier to kind of hit them up. But I'm gonna actually show you this. This is what they're doing right now. Some DJ, I'm not being rude looking at my phone. I'm actually trying to show you something.
You're good.
All right, let me just say this, like, so this is what they do now, which is cool, but it's still not really. So they do like that, right? Where they have the big text on the phone, right?
Yeah.
So they do that a lot. So a lot of people come up to the DJs like that, yo, play, and they'll have it. You can have it flashing on your phone. You can just change it up. But still, I mean, it's still like, yo, you know, or even to get to the DJ, the bigger you are, you're up on a stage, you can't even get there. But I can always hit you up if you're just gonna get a text message instantly, you know?
Yeah, man. That's awesome. NoSongRequest.com. Check them out. And you know, I definitely would love to. I'm gonna be following as well, you know, what you're doing, because it's a very unique service, and I like what you're doing, man. So keep it up.
Really appreciate it, my man.
No problem. What's on deck for you for the rest of 2022?
Well, so we right now we're gonna do some promotion. We've got a little beach party coming up next weekend. It's just like in LA, just everyone's welcome. You know, just a vibe, man. Just get everybody out, you know, on the beach. Just, you know, we got a few DJs spinning, and then we might do like a full launch like later in August. We're working on planning that out, and then after that, we're really just gonna work on the software, getting more features. You know, just listening to the DJs, so here's the thing, it's not just for DJs obviously play music. This is the primary focus. We got Zumba instructors, we got people, anyone who's playing, we got performers. They're like, hey, I got this big event coming up. Which song should I play? people will put in all their songs, and everyone, and you see their fans start upvoting the songs that they want to hear at that concert. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a way to, because again, there's that voting aspect of it, right? And you see them commenting like, no, don't play that song, play this song. So performers, artists don't really realize that it's there for them too. It's not just for DJs. I mean, we've got people who, they do classes, right? Like, like I said, they're like aerobics instructors, and they play music, right? And they like, okay, this changes it up everything. I'm always playing the same 10, 20 songs. Hey, look, now I can go in. You guys tell me what you want. I can see the votes, and they're getting tips through the app and through the software. So there's a lot more to it than just DJs. But of course, DJs is the main focus and the reason why we started it. But we feel like there's a lot of other ways in which that we can do it. Aside from that, we want to talk to music services. I mean, if they're interested in, if they're not interested now, they will be interested later, because it's just going to grow. So I always feel like this. So as a person who's been in software and I understand how it works, I've started other companies. I own, I'm co-founder of, software companies in the health space. Again, I'm chief technology officer at an insurance company right now. One of the things that software companies do is play a defensive position. So let's say there's something out there, and if I have it, nobody else has it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a company and you really understand where this is going, you say, okay, I can now be a part of something that I know this is what people love. Let me make sure I get involved in that now, because later on, if somebody else has it, I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm really trying to spread the word on that. But at the same time, we really want to just grow it and support a person like me who's a big fan of the music. I want them to feel like they can get their word out now. It's like a way that I can communicate with the creators like yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this is an opportunity for fans to really just be able to just communicate with folks. So really, we just want to push it. We really just don't want to, we're going to have a few events to just get the word out, and just keep working on the software, man. That's pretty much the plan. What's the plan for you? What's going on with you for the rest of the year, my man?
Man, even more episodes. And then, aside from that, right now I'm actually starting production on my next album, which I plan to release in November. Major Moves 4. And yeah, that's kind of it. Got some videos on the way too, some music videos for, I came out with an album in April at a different speed. That's what the album title is. And I'm gonna shoot some visuals for that in the upcoming months. And then next month, I'm actually going to perform at like this end of the summer event here in Dallas. It's called Night to Give Back. So I'll be posting a lot in regards to that upcoming show, and I'll probably have some footage from the show as well. So gonna end the year strong and just try to stay consistent. And yeah, I'm gonna do my best to help you spread the word on, nosongrequest.com. So yeah.
Appreciate it, my man. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much again. I'm really grateful for chance to talk to you, and for you to listen, my man. Appreciate it.
Oh man, no problem, man. I did want to ask you, because I asked all the listeners, or all the guests, should I say, do you have any like shout outs for, maybe someone that you've been working with, or
Yeah, so I mean, really, as far as people who so my brother, who's again, he was he's the designer of a lot of this, the software. He's a UI UX designer, came from the hood just like me in Cleveland. But we always had a plan. We always had a plan to get out. My wife, who's my partner as well, who is always behind all the stuff that we do. She's kind of just holding everything down. All the DJs in LA that listen to me, and say, hey, who were actually my friend DJ Olaf. He's one of the ones who first was like, yeah, I'm down with it. I'll use it, because I just approaching them like, hey, there's this QR thing, and just so I want to shout out to them, and actually just all the DJs that I've in LA that I don't even. There's so many people, man, that I just I interact with, and all of them just motivate me to kind of, to put this out there,
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely glad they motivated you to get it going, because I like it, man. And then one of the things I also ask, give your like information as far as your social platforms, and where can our listeners find more information about nosongrequest.com.
Yeah, definitely. So on we're really just on Instagram right now. It's No Song Request, right? That's it. Just that's it. You'll find us. NoSongRequest.com. If you want to sign up, you just go there. You can, and also you can search for DJs there. You can sign up. You can see what's going on. Just go there, and really the Instagram, that's the main way to hit us up right now. And that's really it.
Yeah, I see the hat right there. And go ahead, hit him with a follow on social media, nosongrequest.com. And for myself, you can actually follow me on Instagram at D._Major Music. You can find new episodes of the Major Music Lounge on Fridays every week. If you're interested in getting on a podcast, you could actually hit me up on IG or my Twitter, D.MME. Listen to also new episodes on all podcast streaming platforms. And until next time, it's your boy D Dot, and we're out.